not quite a question, but do IEMs with noise canceling do better to reduce low end than earplugs? You know, I might be just a little behind, but when I've tried to use active noise canceling around really loud stuff, like a drum kit, it tends to like just sound distorted, like almost it can't handle it. There may be IEMs specifically made for that now that are better, but I feel like
Not
passive
really.
isolation is the way when you're dealing with really loud, especially transient stuff that just happens out of nowhere. If you're on a plane and it's a solid, steady state noise level, I think it can do better on that. But go ahead, Gabe.
Well, on a plane, I recommend earplanes. If anyone's not familiar with earplanes, earplanes, they are. I don't know if you can find them, Kyle. But the thing about flying an airplane is the up and down cabin pressure changes. So if you've ever had that experience of going up in an airplane, your ears pop.
Yeah.
There's also the issue of the noise, right? So airplanes are they have ballasts in the tubes that extend out from the ear, and there's a little ball in there, and it moves in and out to accommodate for the air pressure change. So if you put them in when they first close the door to the airplane, you pop them in, and that seals the air inside of your middle ear, and it makes the relief. It's like a little relief air pressure relief valve. And so if you wear them while you're ascending and descending, while the cabin is pressurizing, you won't experience that popping sound. And they also, I think, attenuate 15 to 20 dB. I think SPL. So they're
That's
my choice.
amazing.
They're my choice
Wow.
for flying. Yeah, I use those anytime I fly.
Oh, I hate when my ears are it's almost painful sometimes,
Yeah,
right? When
it can be
yeah.
very painful, and it messes with your ears will fatigue very fast. The other this is brings in this whole other thing about transit. I'll try to be brief, but I did a series of experiments years ago on the loudness of cars on the interstate, and found that if you take an SPL meter with you in the car while you're driving at highway speed, it's beyond what they say OSHA standards should be. It's like 87 to 90 dBSPL, and that's without music on. If you turn music on in your
Yeah.
car, it could be easily 92, 93 dBSPL. And so if you've ever gone through that experience of driving 3, 4 hours in the car, and you get out of the car and you feel tired, like you're sleepy, one of the reasons you're tired and feeling fatigued is because of the constant noise floor. And you never get a break from it, and so your ears fatigue. And when your ears fatigue, you have to work harder to pay attention to every little other sound, and your brain just gets tired. So you're not physically tired, but you just feel sleepy. Well, if you put in earplugs like the foamy ones we're talking about, or any of the ones we've talked about, and you take that same drive, when you get out, you'll feel fresh as you'll feel the opposite. You'll be like ready to run around. And it's amazing how you will physically feel different just by controlling your exposure to the loud environment. So I do and that was an important thing for me when I was chief engineer at the power station, because I'd have to drive an hour to get there and an hour to get home. So if I had to, that's 2 hours in the car at highway speeds. So if I arrived at my gig after having driven an hour, my ears were already tired by the time I got there. And so I realized that if I could wear earplugs when I'm driving to and from work, it's a little nerdy, but man, as soon as I walked in the room, I was like, my ears are fresh as when I woke up this morning. Like I'm ready to go. And then when I would leave, my ears would be toast. They'd be fried because I'd be listening all day critically, and I'd have to drive an hour home. And that hour of driving was painful at times because I was just so tired, and there's so much more noise just happening at a constant. So putting in the earplugs on the way home gave my ears a chance to recover from a long day of work and gave them some rest time, which was critical. And then by the time I got home, um, you know, the, the time on the pillow was like way more effective or efficient because I'd already started resting my ears. So that's just another way that you can use earplugs to your advantage, even the foamy ones. They don't have to be custom molded, but I highly recommend it. Even if it costs $500, that's $500 spent on ensuring you'll be hearing at your best your entire career, versus
Yeah.
who knows.
Well, and even if you're not doing this as a career, like you're here because you like audio and music. So like save that because
Right?
it's already going to naturally deteriorate. Let's make it
Yeah.
go as slow as possible so you can continue to
Correct.
enjoy it.
Correct.